It's the time. Let's bring into the conversation Dr. Duncan Robertson, who's Policy and Strategy Analytics academic from Loughborough University, focusing on COVID. And if I can remind you, Doctor, good morning. I think it was Albert Einstein who once said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, or whatever the words are. Do we need a third lockdown? Are lockdowns actually working, Doctor? Good morning.
Good morning. The problem is that we don't seem to be learning a lot from the first lockdown, and really we've had a year now of knowing about this virus. Okay, we do have a new variant, but the problem with lockdowns is it's really showing a failure in policy. And, you have to think about a lot of this is done reactively rather than proactively. So, as well as eating out to help out, which is, a long time ago, we had Christmas and we had people, going home to various places and mixing, which, of course, allows the virus to spread. And, the ridiculous thing is yesterday when schools went back, primary schools went back, and we had a new round of mixing. All the people who'd potentially come back from seeing relatives over Christmas are now mixing with a new group. So quite how you go from, from that to a lockdown does really suggest there isn't a lot of proactive thinking. But as well as that, it's great that, suddenly the government seems to be trying to get this under control. None of us want any of these measures to be in place. But really, it's due to the failure of government policy that's allowing this to be in place now.
One moment of optimism, possibly from the Prime Minister. We're entering the last phase. From your understanding of the situation, and you're far better versed in this than I, what do you think, Doctor? Do you sense this is albeit challenging, but are we entering the last phase?
Well, the problem is that, this goes on and, what we've seen is we've had a new variant, which really means the rules of the game have changed. So, if it's around 50% more transmissive, so basically, if 10 people have this new strain, then an extra 4 to 7 people will be infected on top of what was going to happen originally. So it's really a new, you can think of it as a new virus that we've got there that's even worse than the original one. And of course, as this virus is allowed to replicate around the world, you get new variants. So you get this Kent variant, if you like, but you've also got the South African variant. And yes, hopefully, certainly it seems as though the Kent variant is going to be effective with the vaccine. But potentially, as time goes on, things may not be. And I think one of the things is, yes, absolutely, we have the vaccine. But of course, if we're trying to get those top 4 groups vaccinated by, half term, effectively, that's 6 weeks to do roughly 12 million people. So 2 million vaccines per week. But of course, we're only doing 300,000 at the moment.
It's a difficult number to take. I must leave it there. Doctor, thank you for your time. Dr. Duncan Robertson, your Policy and Strategy Analytics academic from Loughborough University, focusing on COVID. I'm grateful you mentioned South Africa, because we are looking at the suggestions now that flights incoming from South Africa should be banned. We'll look at that later.